In this era of deep complexity.
Okay, Honest Abe never lied. That's the good thing. That's the big difference between Abraham Lincoln and you.
Beyond the edges of black or white.
We choose truth over facts.
It's time to be notionally accurate.
Precisely, factually, and semantically correct than about being morally right.
Here's your host, Captain Kirk.
Welcome one and all to the 9th episode of the Notionally Accurate podcast, produced live right here at the One Man's Burden Studios in my undisclosed compound, located in the South Bahamas, north of Rehoboth Beach, in landlocked California. My name is Captain Kirk, and I'll be your affable host. With less than 92 days to the November election as of this recording, what's the state of play in American politics? It doesn't look good for the GOP in their effort to retake the Senate. All of their candidates are chosen, and the ones in competitive races are down, the exception being former Democrat turned Republican Jim Justice, the governor of West Virginia. His victory will make it a 50-50 split, with whoever the next party's vice president is being the tiebreaker. It appears the party will retain the House if future President Trump does well. The better markets and the swing state polls still show he'll win the Electoral College. Now it's about turnout, as the astroturfed enthusiasm for Kamala Harris, fake and manufactured as their candidate, may or may not fade depending on their choice of VP. That choice will apparently be Josh Shapiro as of this recording. I liked what Shapiro said after July 13th. His remarks about Cory Comparator, the lone death of the attempted Trump assassination in Butler, Pennsylvania, struck all the right notes.
Cory Comparator. I just spoke to Cory's wife and Cory's two daughters. Cory was a girl dad. Cory was a firefighter. Cory went to church every Sunday. Cory loved his community, and most especially, Cory loved his family.
But he's a partisan hack otherwise, who at least pretends to want to trans your kids, as a treat. In his resurfaced blog posts about Palestinians won't help him with the Dearborn crowd who hates Israel. That may be why the left-wing clique of Wikipedia editors are scrambling to scrub his Israel Defense Force of volunteering. On top of all that, as Pennsylvania's Attorney General, Shapiro may have covered up a murder-ruled suicide to help a family friend named Samuel Greenberg. And he had apparently called his lawyer prior to contacting the police, which is something innocent people do, right? The 911 call is very strange, to say the least. One might call it weird.
Willing to do CPR with me over the phone so they can...
I have to, right?
Okay, so get her flat on her back, bare her chest, okay? You want to rip her shirt off. Okay? Kneel down by her side.
Oh, my God. Allie, please.
Listen, you can't freak out, sir, because you
okay, I'm trying not to. Her shirt won't come off. It's a zipper. Oh, my God. She stabbed herself.
Where?
She fell with a knife. Oh, no, her knife's sticking out.
Her what?
There's a knife sticking out of her heart.
Oh, she stabbed herself?
I guess so. I don't know where she fell on it. I don't know.
Okay, well, don't touch it.
Okay, so I just let her down. Here now. I mean, what do I do?
Back to Kamala, who has yet to do a sit-down interview with any of the hacks working for CBS, ABC, NBC, PBS, NPR, or any of the rags formerly called newspapers of record. I surmise the Democrats want to rerun the 2020 race, where they hid Biden for half of the year, and won 81 million votes. The flaccid talking by Kamala and company to goad President Trump into a debate is nonsensical. Since the last candidate he debated, Kamala's old boss, got pushed out by his own party after losing a debate he asked for and rigged in his favor. Like the effort to hide Shapiro's foibles, however, the maneuver to scrub Kamala's failed record as border czar was a disaster. Her campaign relies on fact checks from places like Axios that literally called her a border czar after Biden bestowed that responsibility upon her in early 2021, only to then turn around and claim that it's, quote, without evidence. Those mean conservatives label her as the border czar. Not to mention we're supposed to simultaneously believe that Harris had no role to play in securing the border, while touting that the border is the most secure it's ever been thanks to her, while at the same time complaining about a so-called border bill that would have done what she was able to accomplish even though she had no responsibility. Make that make sense. You can't. As well, the Kamala cohort are using anonymous staffers to tell reporters that she actually doesn't support banning fracking, since that'd be a disaster in places like Pennsylvania, and that she no longer supports defunding the police, despite her on-the-record defense of such moves in her promotion of the Minnesota Freedom Fund, which released horrible people during the BLM Antifa riots barely 4 years ago. Speaking of uprisings, the UK is on fire after migrants killed little kids recently, but don't worry. Prime Minister Keir Starmer is going to use his iron fist of the British government to crack down, not on the murderers, but those upset over the murders. Then he's going to f*** off and take a vacation just over a month into his tenure. The response from the UK government is a preview of what we'll see in the United States if Kamala and company are installed next November. The one key difference is that the Brits don't have a Second Amendment, and we do. With Secret Service Chief Cheadle gone, we now have her underling, Ronald Rowe, in front of Congress to gaslight us into oblivion. So it's meet the new boss, same as the old boss. Reportedly, Ron Rowe is the reason Donald Trump was denied extra protection during the campaign. We'll see what further reporting comes out of the revelation. Also, the admission by former Chief Cheadle that there were no comms recorded between the Secret Service agents is either a lie or an absolute dereliction of duty.
Let me ask you something else. Does the Secret Service routinely record communications between and amongst detail?
Radio communications?
Any communication?
Well, email communications are captured, as well as text messages. And then, depending on the detail, radio communications are recorded.
Does the Secret Service have recorded communications from the July 13th event?
We do not have radio communications from that day.
But you have text messages?
We do have emails and text messages.
Emails, okay, great.
Why nobody has been fired would be an outrage if we weren't aware that in the Harris-Biden regime, the buck always stops somewhere else. The FBI was forced to correct their director Chris Wray's topsy-turvy word salad to confirm that yes, President Trump was shot in the air, despite what assassination deniers say. Fortunately, Representatives Eli Crane and Corey Mills are diligently working, as are Senators Hawley and Ron Johnson, to figure out what happened, as well as others. The worst of it all, though, to me, is that every incompetent move, coupled with every effort to stonewall the investigation, will lead people to believe, if they don't already, that it was an inside job. God help us all. With just over 3 months to go and early voting about to ramp up, it's going to be a roller coaster until November. Anyway, thanks for listening to episode 9 of Notionally Accurate. I'm your host, Captain Kirk. More to come on future episodes. Find this podcast on SoundCloud, Rumble, and YouTube. Follow me on Twitter/X at NotionallyACC. That's at NotionallyACC. Email me at notionallyaccurate@protonmail.com. That's notionallyaccurate@protonmail.com. Take care, and remember, even if you can't be factually correct, you can always be notionally accurate.